Hey guys, it's Bree. I'm back with another video. I am a second year in Oxford and I'm studying Japanese and later on Korean. I just finished open day yesterday and I was thinking, you know what? Like, I was talking to all these different people, asked them all, what's your favourite college? What do you think of Oxford? And what usually happens is people visit so many different colleges and they are all nice and they're all really beautiful and everyone there's really friendly and they just can't choose. They're just thinking, which one? Because they're all so good. What do I choose? For me, when I went to my open day 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? I feel so old. When I went to my open day 2 years ago, I went to two colleges, which was St. Anne's and Hertford, and then I went to the Orient Institute and didn't like St. Anne's because the accommodation they showed us wasn't very nice. But actually the accommodation that first years have is really nice. I don't know why they showed us those horrible rooms. Hertford was just beautiful. I was like, I want to go to Hertford. So you guys already know I applied to Hertford, but I didn't actually get into Hertford. And then another college, and I was sad at first, but it's okay. So I only saw two, so the decision was really easy for me. It was just one or the other, and that was it. But for other students who I've spoken to, they went around to like 7 different colleges and they forgot the names and like the differences between them. So I thought I'd just make a video on how to consider how to choose a college. For those of you who do not know what a college is, rather than there being one central university in Oxford, they have 35 different colleges which are spread out across the city, and they have accommodation, a hall, like a dining hall, tutors' offices, lecture halls, basically it's just things like that. And they also have a library, and that's just for the use of the college. So all those things are just for use of the college. The members of the college have tutorials with those tutors, and yeah, it's kind of like a campus, but you still have classes outside. For example, you have lectures in other places, or you might have tutorials with other tutors in other colleges, or you might go to your faculty and have classes there. So it just really depends. But it's kind of just to make it more of a tight-knit community rather than you having 1,000 people all here at once. You're wondering, who should I be friends with? It's kind of a nicer way to become friends with people and feel kind of safe and secure in Oxford. Yeah, that's what a college is. So a few things to consider is the size of the college. Do you want to be in a really small college, a medium-sized college, or a really large college? So a small-sized college would be about, for example, St. Regent's Hall has taken on about 40 people a year. So it's very, very small, but that means that everybody gets to know each other. And I've done a tour video of that actually, and it should be coming out at some point. I'm not sure when, but it will come out eventually. And yeah, it's just a small little tight-knit community, and some of my friends go there and they really enjoy it. For other people, they prefer medium-sized colleges. So I'd say medium-sized college is when it has maybe like 90 to 100 undergrads every single year. And that just feels like a normal college, to be honest. It just feels like my secondary school. My secondary school had about 500 people in it. So I knew everybody in my year. I knew people in different years as well. I might not remember their names, but I recognize people's faces, and that's kind of what it is here. So actually no, I don't actually know everyone here. But that's because I'm hardly in my college anyway. And with larger colleges, I don't know the exact size because I haven't actually been to any of them, but I'm guessing it must be 120 pupils and upwards in each year. And it's really up to you whether you want to go to a small one, a medium one, or a big one, and it doesn't really matter. Basically, it's your decision. You know what you like. So if you want a different size college, then that's what you should consider out of all the ones you've seen. Another thing is, well, it says on the Oxford website the age, but I don't really care about the age of the college. If the college looks nice, then I will want to go there. So I don't really think that's relevant. But another thing is the location. So it's close to the city centre. So for example, the ones on Broad Street, which is Trinity, Balliol, the ones near Tull Street, which is kind of like Lincoln, Brasenose, Jesus College, Exeter. Those are kind of close to the centre. So would you want to be in a central college, St. John's as well? Would you want to be in a central college, or would you want to be in one that's further away? So ones that are a bit further away are things such as Queen's is on the High Street, which is still relatively close, but it's not as close as the other colleges. Or Wadham and Hertford, or UNIV, which is University College. Those ones are kind of just a little bit further out, but they're still quite central. And then you have the ones that are even further, which would be Magdalen, Christchurch, Pembroke, Lincoln, which are a bit further out. And you have ones that are even further, such as Wolfson and St. Hugh's and St. Anne's. And it's just up to you where you want to be in the whole city, basically. Like some reasons why people choose Christchurch and Pembroke is because they're close to the boathouses, which means it's just a quick walk for you to get to the boathouses for rowing, if you have rowing in the morning, or if you want to see the boat races and things like that. Some people also want to choose colleges that are close to their faculty building. So for example, Somerville, many mathematicians apply to Somerville because it's right next door. So they just want to just get up and go to their lectures and come back really easily. And close to the China Centre and the Japanese Nissan Centre. So some people choose St Anne's and St Hugh's for that reason. So accommodation is very important because that will kind of govern how you experience university for the next 3 or 4 years of your course. And some colleges offer accommodation for the whole 4 years. For example, I know Pembroke, Queen's, Hertford does, and I think St Anne's as well. And Univ as well, I think. But you can just find this all online and look it up. But some of them offer it for the whole 4 years, which means you don't have to think about applying for accommodation elsewhere. But some of them you do have to, for example, Brasenose. And for me personally, I would prefer just to have accommodation just given to you by the college, because it means I don't have to like search and kind of find the cheapest deal and things like that. I just get my set price and I just pay it every single term. Also, you actually only really spend about 25 weeks in Oxford, which means that you spend most of your time at home. So if you're paying for accommodation outside of the university accommodation, it means you have to pay for the whole year when you're not going to be there for the whole year. The upside of that is that you don't have to move out every single term, because if you're in an Oxford accommodation, then you have to take everything out of your room. It's very, it's horrible. I've done it 6 times now. It's not fun, but that's what you have to do. So you'll want to know what type of accommodation they offer, how expensive is it? Do they have graded accommodation, or is it just a fixed price for everybody? I prefer it just as a fixed price because it means that there's not like a disparity due to people's economic backgrounds. It's just you all pay the same price and you have a ballot which is all randomized, and you'll get a nice room one year and not a nice room the next year and then a nice room the next year. So it's just easier really. Another thing is actually where the accommodation is, because most accommodation, well actually in your first year you're supposed to be within your college, but some colleges have them have the first years off-site, and they have a lot of accommodations dotted around the whole city. So that's something to think about. How close do you want to be to your actual college or other things if you don't end up within your college-based accommodation? I guess like facilities, because okay, every college has a college bar, a chapel, I think, a dining hall, a library, but some of them have law libraries, some of them have, I don't know what they have to be honest, but some of them might have extra things that you might be more interested in and want to actually get involved in. For example, some of them have large expanses of land within the college itself, so you can do lots of sports within the college, whereas some colleges you have to travel a bit of a distance to actually get there. Access, I guess if it's accessible, wow, my English has gone weird. If it's accessible for people who are disabled or have mobility problems, whether you would like to just, you know, have no steps, whether it has a lift or not, things like that, you might want to consider if you have a disability. Yes, I think that's about it. Oh no, one more thing before I forget. So the way that I chose Hertford was because of the tutors. I don't know what it's like for any other degree. I can only speak for Japanese and Korean, but you have one tutorial every week in your first year, and one tutorial is based on an essay that you've done, so you have it with that tutor who's the expert in that topic, and the other week you have it with your college tutor. So I chose Hertford because they had at the time 3 linguistic tutors, and I was really interested in linguistics. I just wanted all of those I wanted those tutorials where they just focus on linguistics. It didn't work out that way. I'm in another college and I do tutorials with other things, but it's fine because in 3rd year I'm going to take linguistics anyway. Yeah, that's something else you might want to consider, the tutors that are in the college and what their expertise is, because then you'll have more one-to-one and be able to discuss those things with them in greater detail. Those are the things I would say for choosing a college. If you still think of all those things and you can't decide, you can make an open application, which means that you just get assigned a college randomly, and a lot of people choose that. It's not necessarily a bad thing because the tutors themselves, when you go for interviews, don't actually know that you haven't chosen their college, so they're not gonna, not that they would, but they're not going to treat you in any other way. It's just going to be quite chill. I think the downside of an open application is you don't choose your college. You can't say, okay, I only want to choose these 10, you just give me a random one out of those 10. It's all of them, and there's 35 colleges, so you don't know which one you're going to get, and you might not like it if you actually end up going there. But this moves on to the last thing I want to talk about, which is if you get an offer from Oxford but it's not the original college that you applied to. So that happened to me, and when I saw that, I was like, I don't want to go. I've never heard of this college before. I don't know what it's like. I haven't spoke to anybody from this college. I'm not interested in those subjects. I want to do linguistics. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should just turn down Oxford. I was actually considering that in the January, because you get your emails in the first 2 weeks of January. Your mail actually, it comes by post if you're a domestic student. And so I was thinking, no, I don't want to go to Oxford anymore. I'm going to go to SOAS instead, which is a university in London. But I spoke it over with a few other people. They just said, no, this college is really beautiful, it's really nice, I think you would love it here, just do it. And you're still doing the same degree, so why not? So I was like, okay, fine. So I accepted it and I went here and I was like, wow, it's so beautiful, it's so nice. Not the accommodation room that I got in my first year, but the rest of the buildings are just so great. So I just say it doesn't really necessarily matter what college you actually get assigned to. If you really don't like it, then you don't actually need to be within your college 24/7. There are so many different places you can go. You don't have to eat in your college, you don't have to talk to people there if you don't want to. I would suggest making friends everywhere. But one person actually turned down Oxford for Japanese because he was assigned to, what is it called? It's one of the mature colleges called Harris Mansfield, and he was thinking, I don't want to be here, and I applied for this, and it's a mature college with older people, I don't want to be here, and so he turned it down. But actually for my course, you hardly spend any time within your college anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. It's a shame really. So just think about whether the college really matters that much to you if you get the one that's not your choice, and whether your classes are actually within the college, because none of my classes are in my college at all, and I don't have to go into my college if I don't want to. So I can spend pretty much a whole term not going in at all, but it's just up to you really. So yes, that was a very long video. I hope that's helped. I hope you enjoyed the open day. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Tell me what you think. If you went on the open day, what colleges are you now considering? Before you watch this video, what are you now thinking of doing after you watch this video? Was this video helpful to you? Let me know. Giving me a like tells me that you like my content, and I will continue doing things that are similar to this. And if you have any other tips for deciding a college, then please leave them down below, because I just gave the basic few, but there's many other things to consider as well. Don't just take my word for it on everything I said about which college does what. Please look it up yourselves, because I can only talk for Japanese and for the colleges that I have friends in, but I might be wrong sometimes, so please check that in on the Oxford website. And even though I only go to Oxford, this kind of just is the same for Cambridge anyway. So if you're a Cambridge prospective student, please let me know if this helped you as well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.